When I was a teenager, I always thought that the way to get people to like me would be to be really funny. So, in every social setting, in every conversation I always had with people, I would always strive to make them laugh, make the best jokes, and then and only then would they like me and think I was a cool person. Oh, was I so wrong. Over the past couple of years, through reading and just personal experience, I've come to find out that if you want to be a likable person, if you want to make friends and have people think highly of you, you don't need to be funny. You don't need to be the most interesting person in the room. You don't have to have charm. There's really only one thing you need to do if you want people to like you and if you want to be generally well accepted by people and make good first impressions. And if I had known this thing, it would have saved me a lot of effort in making jokes in high school, and I probably would have had a lot more friends. So I'm going to be imparting to you the knowledge I have learned about how to be generally a likable person and have good conversations with people. To figure out how to be likable, you just have to ask one very simple question. What do people want? What do human beings generally want when it comes to talking to someone or just existing in general? Every single person, you, me, tall, short, fat, skinny, white, black, whatever, every single human being wants to feel important. So when you know this fact that all of us, no matter who we are, we want our opinions to be heard, we want our hobbies to be known, we want our interests to be validated. Every single person, they want to feel important and they want their egos to be satisfied. So how does this translate into making people like you in conversation and just being a generally likable person? You're interested in other people. It is, I don't know how I didn't know this and I missed this for so long. I think that I went a solid 17, 18 years of my life just completely ignoring what other people want in conversation and just trying to make myself look good. But as it turns out, all you need to do to be likable and get something out of conversations and have people think about you, this person's all right. All you have to do is be interested in them and their life. So it's a difficult thing if it's not a habit, and it was very difficult for me. But you need to make the switch from trying to make yourself look good to trying to make the person you're talking to look good. Everyone has an ego that needs to be satisfied. So instead of trying to constantly worry about how you're reflected, people love talking about themselves. So if you just ask questions, be genuinely interested, try to figure out what people are passionate about, because everybody loves talking about what they're passionate about, what they actually care about. So if you can ask questions and find out what a person cares about and they're passionate about, they will love you. They will not get enough of you. They'll think you're a great person to talk to, because everybody likes satisfying their egos. Everybody likes feeling heard, feeling important. So in conversations, you need to be able to turn off that switch of, oh, I need to talk about myself, and step outside of yourself and get to know the person, because it's a night and day switch. If you just start getting to know another person, being interested in them, you'll see like a wild flip around. Like everybody's going to start actually wanting to talk to you, be around you, and it's just insane. So I'm going to give you an example of this principle working well in my life. So I was meeting with my college advisor, to talk about my classes and my future. Nothing too important, but he forgot my name, even though he had seen me like 4 or 5 times previously. But I walked in and he was like, "Oh, what's your name again?" And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like, he felt bad for forgetting my name. And in this moment, I could have, been insulted that he didn't remember my name, just been like, yeah, whatever, let's move on. But I had a great moment. I stepped outside myself and I said to him, it's fine. I'm sure you have a lot of names to remember, because, he's a college advisor. He's got like 100 students to talk to. And when I said that, his eyes lit up and he was like, yeah, it's actually really hard. You wouldn't even believe. And I asked him a few more questions about his job. And from that moment on, he just seemed to give me so much more like energy, so much more focus. And he just seemed to overall like me more. So it's like, that wasn't a huge thing. That was literally just one comment about his job. And I stepped outside myself. I didn't make it about me. And I actually asked him about himself. And from that moment on, it was just, he liked me a lot more. So it's not a huge thing. I don't want to act like I'm coming up with some groundbreaking charm, Sigma male communication method. It's not hard. And I know some of you probably already know this. because I'm not coming up with this thought originally. There's a great book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and it talks about this in depth. But all you really need to know is if you become interested in other people and talk about them in conversations, you're going to be so much more likable than a narcissist who only wants to talk about themselves. Now, speaking of narcissists, there is something I should warn you about, and it's when not to use this method of being interested in other people. There is a certain group of people who really, really love themselves, who can't get enough of talking about themselves. And if you use this method in conversation of being interested in another person, and you do this on a narcissist, they will cling to you and never let go. They will follow you around. They will constantly talk about themselves because you're the only one that will listen. So it's happened to me. I've had a short conversation with a narcissistic person. I take some interest in their life, and all of a sudden they just do not stop talking about themselves ever. And this is the only occasion where you want to back off and stop asking them about themselves, because you're just, with narcissists, they don't care. The good thing about this method is if you're interested in someone and they're a respectable person, you'll ask them about themselves, they'll talk, and then they'll turn it back on you and ask you questions about yourself. But with a narcissist, it will never end. They will continue to talk about themselves like it's a one-man show, and it will never end. So this method is great, being interested in other people, talking about them, but do not do it with narcissistic people, because you'll get trapped in an endless loop of them just talking to you about themselves, and it's terrible. So don't do that. But overall, it is very, very beneficial in dating, friends, and professional settings to step outside yourself and be interested in other people. I know it's not groundbreaking what I'm telling you, but it's something that everyone should know, because it makes the world a much better place to live in when people are actually interested in others. You'll see a huge difference if you start doing this with people. So that's all I got for today. Short little video. Hope I helped. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to add to what I said. And with that being said, see you in the next one. Peace.